to Storyboard. I'm Shibani Gharat. In a special chat, I'm catching up with EssenceMediacom's APAC CEO, Rupert McPetrie. He was visiting India this week. It was just a year ago that GroupM's newest and largest agency, EssenceMediacom, was formally launched with an ambition to deliver marketing breakthroughs for their clients. In APAC, this one-year-old agency is led by Rupert, and it recruits more than 2,500 people across 29 offices in 16 markets in the region. On the show this week, Rupert is sharing their one-year report card, India expectations, and much more. Let's take a look. So Rupert, you are leading the newest agency under GroupM, which is EssenceMediacom, which was formally launched last year. What has been the past one-year report card been like for EssenceMediacom in APAC?
Sure, look, it's been, for me, an extraordinary last 12, 18 months. I say to the team often, I think actually I've got the best job in the world, because to your point, I'm running, the world's leading, I'd say, one of the strongest, one of the best agencies, most new and fresh agencies in GroupM, and I'd say in the sector. And the last 12 months in particular, after we launched, has been one of really trying to get out, see clients with our new offer. This whole idea of, as the landscape changes for consumers, the landscape changes, media, platforms, there's a real opportunity to find growth, to find new channels, new customers, if you can understand and map that ecosystem. That ecosystem is what we call the new communications economy. So EssenceMediacom, after we launched back in 2023, has all been about taking this new proposition around the new communications economy to our client partners and to the wider businesses, and really showing how the work we do, understanding that ecosystem, can deliver growth, or what we call breakthrough. So it's been a terrific journey.
Year in particular, for the agency business, if you see and if you look at it, has been a year of consolidation, so to speak. So many consolidations have happened. Being there, being in the thick of the things, living through, merging of Essence and Mediacom. How do you look at it? What were some of the key learnings out of that experience? What were some of the challenges bringing together these two diverse entities, specifically in the region, with diverse cultures of their own?
So there are a number of key learnings, I guess. Number one is, you really, really need to take care of people. Sometimes as businesses, we articulate a beautiful plan and vision, but the people who deliver the vision are the staff, the team members, the people that work with clients every day. So we really need to take care of people through the process. Change creates uncertainty, even if it's a positive change. So we need to take care of the people. We did a lot of work around taking care of the teammates, colleagues, what we call essentials all around the world, and particularly here in APAC. So that's number one. I think number two is how you communicate. You need to share information. As soon as you announce a merger, as soon as you announce a new agency, the industry is asking questions, clients are asking questions.
Correct. And happened globally beforehand,
Sure.
Before hitting the APAC market, right?
Yeah, we tried to do it in one, but inevitably the questions start coming from everywhere. So you need to start communicating very quickly. Maybe you haven't got 100% of the answer, but avoid the silences, right? You need to just come out, share what you can, talk about the direction, talk about the timelines. That's probably number two. Number three, you want to do it properly. So that means consulting lots of stakeholders, going through a process, making sure the plan is good. But again, as soon as you announce, you create expectation. And if it is a new offer, if it is something differentiated, then clients want to get to what's new very quickly, as the prospect, and our people want to know. So we tended to find this, I guess, a little bit of a tension of wanting to do things steadily, progressively, according to the plan, but also move very quickly. And look, in APAC as well, all the markets tend to move super fast, right? Because of all the changes that we see on the ground.
Sure.
So it's, people, communication, and speed, I guess.
Great. So EssenceMediacom is the largest, media investment agency under GroupM today. Tell us some of the insights which are specific for the region as compared to, the global markets.
One of the things that is extraordinarily exciting about the region is that diversity. And I mean diversity from every lens that you can look at it. You know, culture, consumers, landscape, platform, the rate of change in all of those. You know, the region moves quickly, but in a way, a different pace in different territories. And so I think, you know, for us in particular in APAC, that created special opportunity when we did move fast. You know, I think our positioning around navigating the new communications economy is more relevant in APAC probably than anywhere else. And why do I say that? It's because you look at different parts of the region, look at, you know, social media moving through to social commerce. You know, you look at the incredible changes that went back in China a couple of years ago that then go into Indonesia, into India. You know, look at mobile penetration, smartphone penetration, transforming the way that customers, potential customers engage with brands.
Rupert, from you, I need to understand the significance of India market for EssenceMediacom and what will be your key focus areas going forward in the country?
So it's a year of change. There's lots of elections, there's lots of economic things going on. So then when you look at the potential for growth, you look at GDP, you know, published GDP for India looks very promising for 2024. You look at the ADEX, probably running at 2 times that forecast in 2024. And that's an indicator not just of the vibrancy of the economy, but the high level of interest and opportunity that customers, our clients see, businesses see, to grow their businesses from a volume, not only share point of view in the market. So there's a lot of advertiser attention here, and for good reason. I mean, you look at the stats in terms of overall population, the emergent middle class, you look at the tech penetration, digital handset penetration. You know, again, you've got this confluence of really interesting vectors that suddenly think, wow, this, you know, if you're going to place a big bet anywhere in 2024, it would be here in India.
So what are your expectations? What are some of the tasks earmarked for the team in the country?
So since Nick was here, Naveen and the team have done a brilliant job, honestly. India's been a real, you know, shining star globally for EssenceMediacom in year 1. And you know, you can look at the scorecard on that around, you know, the clients that we're working with, the new clients that we've grown and taken on board in the last 12 months here. But I think more importantly, look at some of the couple of other areas that we've worked on. One of which is the people side, just to really take more care of our people, give them more learning and development opportunities, growth opportunities, I guess. And the outcome of all of that is the work. And the work that has come out of this business in India has been terrific in the last 12 months. You know, Cannes award-winning, all the different festivals, including local festivals, you know, Goa Fest, Envies recently, and then on the global stage. So really good recognition of the work the last 12 months. So what's next? What's next, I think, is much more consistent application of that excellence. You know, I don't want it to just be one Cannes winner, right? I'd like us to at least enter more, and not just for the fame that comes for that, but you know, we look at advertising not just as a vehicle for growth for our clients, but also an opportunity to effect change in the communities that we work in, the societies that we operate in. And
So
some of the work that comes in.
Can winner. Then, apart from that, what else?
Well,
new client pipeline, maybe?
New client pipeline is exciting. Teams had a terrific first 2 months to the year, so I'm obviously encouraging them to do more. I said to Naveen, you know, the problem when you hit a target is the target gets bigger. So, you know, the ambition for the business is high for this year. So work, growth from new clients. But look, I also think as we pivot on the landscape where, you know, e-commerce is becoming so much more scale here, again, digital penetration, very
Keeps on
high.
increasing.
So the type of solutions we bring to clients needs to reflect that more and more. And not just one client, one market, but much more consistent approach to how we navigate that new economy, and how we can draw a closer line of sight between what we do on behalf of clients and the business outcomes that they have. So those 3 things, right?
It is time for a short break. On the other side, we are catching up with Cleartrip CEO Ayyappan Rajagopal. Welcome back. Ayyappan Rajagopal, CEO Cleartrip, recently took to social media where he put up a teaser video saying Cleartrip has a new captain on board without spilling the beans on who. This new captain is none other than Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Storyboard 18's Tasmai Laharoy caught up with Ayyappan why brand needed a captain and what are the expectations from the partnership with Dhoni and the brand's marketing plans for this year.
Hello and welcome to Storyboard 18 Ayyappan. We are thrilled to have you on the show with us.
My pleasure, Tasmi. Thanks for having me here.
Right, so let's jump right into the questions. And we saw your interesting campaign teaser on LinkedIn, and we came to know that it is none other than Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So tell us a little bit about why Mahendra Singh Dhoni, why have you gotten him on board, and a little about the campaign as well.
Yeah. So firstly, this is like a very, very critical campaign for us because this is the first time post onboarding hotels as a business we have started with the campaign. And we were wondering who is the right celebrity to endorse the brand. Because if you look at Cleartrip, Cleartrip is sort of OG sort of a brand when it comes to travel OTT space. So OTA space, sorry. So when it comes to anything related to the OG category, you need to have a similar persona who cuts across geographies, who has been a true legend, right? And not just cutting across one particular field, but multiple facets. So Dhoni, as we all know, MSD is of course a sporting legend, but he's one of the very, very few personalities and celebrities who, whether people follow cricket or not, he cuts across demographics, ages, geographies, you name it. Every single PG out there would say that yes, I can connect with Dhoni. So that's the reason we were looking at Dhoni as one of the options. Also, the fact that the OTA space is always about the trust, because when it comes to our platform, we have been working on giving a lot more flexibility sort of constructs. So a celebrity needs to come and endorse and say that, you know what, this is the brand I use and this is the brand I endorse, and you can obviously trust this brand. So there's nobody better than MSD who can do that for us, and hence we went for MSD.
What does this campaign mean for the brand, and what are your expectations from not just this partnership, but this campaign that you're taking up?
Yeah, good question. So what we have realized is that the repeat or the stickiness of customers to Cleartrip as a platform is always very high. The moment customers come and book a ticket with us, along with one of the flexibility constructs that we have, people know that we are here to back them through their entire booking journey. So if anything goes wrong in the booking, we are here to support them and ensure they get the complete refund when they book with products like Cleartrip, Flex Choice Max. So these are the product constructs which has helped us to retain customers, and hence this campaign has been designed a lot more to bring in new users, which is a lot more top of the funnel for us. So people who would have never used Cleartrip in the past or used a long time back but stopped using for whatever reason, we want them to come back again onto the platform. So this is about reactivation, and the second metric being the new users and hence the new customers who come on board onto the platform. So these are the top 2 or 3 metrics that we'll be going behind.
That apart, if you tell us a little bit about your overall marketing strategies, not just for this campaign, but for the rest of the year. You already mentioned customer acquisition and, getting the older customers back on the site. What are the other focus areas for Cleartrip for 24-25?
Yeah, so in the last few quarters, we have gone with launching several new product initiatives on both air ticket booking and also hotels booking. So hotels catalog is completely revamped. Our ratings and reviews is one of the best in the industry. It is completely Gen AI generated. It is not a typical manual rating and reviews. So that makes it a lot more easier for consumers to understand which hotel is good for them to purchase. So anybody who experiences this new hotel catalog and rating and review would love the way we have defined it. And even in buses, the flexibility constructs that we have launched is again one of a kind. So all of these put together, the 3 critical lines of business are air, hotel, and buses. So there is a lot of work that has gone in these aspects. The second piece we have always worked on is affordability, where we bring in no cost EMI construct, which is basically helping customers to cut it into installments, multiple installments, and pay instead of booking it upfront. So that's the second biggest thing we are focused on internally. These are a lot more product-led initiatives, I would say. When it comes to marketing that we were talking about, we have always stood in our campaign very differently from the market. Ours has been a lot more clutter breaking, and ours is not a very traditional sort of a marketing. Anytime we do the campaign, there is a lot of talkability around like what we have been able to do, and that's because we see ourselves as a challenger brand, and it's very important to sort of cut our messaging through, and the sort of platform we have, which is a lot more simple, easy to use when customers get the message that we are a very, very highly trustworthy platform, and we take care of their highly invested value on the transaction, then the overall loyalty goes up, the stickiness goes up, and that's how it helps the overall platform. So the marketing is going to be every 3 months. We'll be coming up into the market with something new, which the market has not seen.
It is time for a short break. On the other side, we have Deepika Bhan, President Packaged Foods India, Tata Consumer Products, speaking about Tata Salt reviving their iconic 1980s jingle in Desh Ka Namak campaign.
Three big things that I feel are dramatically transforming India, which we need to recognize. Number one is India is getting richer, more prosperous. The top mass affluent or middle class and above have doubled in the last 5 years, will double again. Second big driver of growth is digitization, but it's democratized India. And I think still we got to recognize that this is a vast country, 1.4 billion people. We have to be responsible towards our communities, towards our environment. And no better company than Hindustan Unilever, because our mission is what's good for India is good for HUL. So we got to always start from that place.
CNBC TV 18, Hindustan Unilever Limited present Lime Season 15.
Welcome back. Tata Salt, a leader in India's branded salt segment, has launched a campaign revitalizing its iconic jingle, Namak Ho Tata Ka Tata Namak. This tune, which was very popular in 1980s in its 2.0 version, promises its consumers an element of surprise and delight. It also introduces a refreshed perspective on its enduring presence in households across India. Conceptualized by Ogilvy, the campaign includes a series of 11 light-hearted yet quick-witted films showcasing Jingle's presence in various moments of a consumer's everyday life, and also marks the 40th anniversary of this iconic brand. To tell us more, we are joined in by Tata Consumer Products President, Packaged Foods India, Deepika Bhan. Deepika, welcome to CNBC TV 18. So good to meet you in person, finally in Tata Consumer office.
Thank you. Lovely to see you.
So Deepika, you are reviving the iconic 80s tune for celebrating the 40 years of Tata Salt. Tell us more and the reason to revive something that has been such a big hit in the 1980s.
Tata Salt is such a ubiquitous brand in the country, and for us, just the idea of Namak Ho Tata Ka Tata Namak, it was as simple as that. It was one of those meetings where, you have a lot of conversation at the end of it. Everybody's just clear, okay, there's only one simple, straight thing the brand should say. So yeah, it's really a campaign where we were trying to refresh more than anything. If you see the campaign, you'll see that the tone of it is slightly different. So yeah, I think we just want to try something new on the brand.
And what are some of the challenges in doing so for the audience or the consumers of today? Like, because we who have lived through some part of the 80s know of it, but the consumer, the Gen Zs would not be aware of what this tune was all about.
Yeah, so when we started the campaign, for us it was less about saying we have to revive, because our big thing, if you see the tone of the campaign, it's different from what Tata Salt has done before. It's a bit lighter. We definitely wanted to refresh a bit and connect with the slightly younger audiences. Some of them may not actually know the original tune. So I think the most important ingredient in the whole thing was courage. It's logic is after, because if you see the campaigns we have done before this, they're a bit more typical, they are usual, they are logical, and from there to take a leap to say, especially as an FMCG marketer, that you're not doing a lot of logical stuff about why this product. The campaign is literally कि नमक हो टाटा का टाटा नमक.
टाटा नमक नमक हो टाटा का टाटा नमक.
Being a brand custodian, what according to you have been some of the most iconic moments or milestones in this 40-year-old journey of Tata Salt so far?
Yeah, so if you really look at the role that Tata Salt is doing as the largest brand, delivering fortification via salt, it's as you say, salt is ultimately the carrier of iodine. While salt got iodized in the country at a pure product level, iodine in very particular parts per million is important for the consumer. So it's one of those things, na zyada na kam. And we are just obsessed about that consistency in quality. So ensuring that we are providing like a superior quality product which is iodizing the country is number one. But the other thing, if you look at life in more recent times, is just taking the same health definition, जैसे हम कहते हैं देश का नमक देश की सेहत, in more value-added offerings. So we had a zinc fortified salt recently, which is doing quite well, called Immuno. We've had a low sodium offering. So taking what is, actually an ingredient which goes into practically everything you cook in the kitchen, but using it to deliver more than saltiness, using it to deliver fortification and health, I think is a second really solid leap we have made. The third is, of course, healthier salts, right, which is natural healthier salts, like for example rock salt, which is another really fast growing franchise for us. Yeah, so those would be some of the big ones.
So because you mentioned value addition, to the offerings and value added products like some of the multiple variants that you mentioned, including rock salt, including the low sodium variant, I wanted to ask you, how do you go about when you are coming up with all of these value added offerings? What are some of the things that you consider? How do you go about prior to launching these value added offerings in the market?
Yeah, so I think that it's for Tata Salt in particular, definitely a strong guiding principle for us is fortification of the nation, because that is it's the original, I suppose, the culture, the philosophy, the right, the duty, the responsibility, whatever. And so we did that with iodine. So the other one that we're very excited about, for example, is iron. So if you had to put method to it, then first it's about looking at top deficiency / top need, right? So when you're using a lower sodium salt, that actually, if you look at super light, or we have a 30% lower sodium, there is actually a lower amount of sodium in the salt. Yeah. So looking at the top real needs, which is different from consumer felt needs, right, is I think a top thing. The second is, of course, trying to then validate some of these mixes with consumers to see what's the most persuasive way in which you can get consumers to move to these categories.
Yeah, yeah. At the same time, then how do you ensure that these offerings don't cannibalize each other, because that is crucial?
See, when you're a large brand, either you'll have to disrupt or you'll get disrupted. So our filter can't always be cannibalizing. We understand that some of these will cannibalize. As long as we can do that at higher margin, that's fine, right? Because we do, I don't know how many other categories in India are at a place right now where there is literally the category is defined by a single product. Like, क्या वैसा है, तेल वैसा है, बिस्किट वैसे हैं, दूध वैसा है. It doesn't work like that. So to say that all of salt has to be one kind of salt, in any case the category does need to sort of deliver better to consumer needs. So there is a spectrum waiting to be created anyway, and if you're the leader brand, then it is sort of your right and also your opportunity to create those segments.
And what are some of the key consumer sentiments today that are shaping some of your strategies?
See, the number one, which is not only shaping, I think, the salt business, but shaping practically every other, FMCG, certainly food, is really the, the healthy living, the proclivity, or, the consumers much more switched on to that, which is why things like healthier salts. But, while that part is more spoken of, the other one that we are going to do a bit more of is just opening up the consumer experience, just the pure experience of consuming a salt. The other thing which is interesting for us is, salt as a segment is, like we said, from a product standpoint, is, let's say, at the saltiness level. Then we spoke about the healthier saltiness level. But what about flavor? So for example, there are things like black salt. We've just recently launched a black salt as well.
That's right.
Because if you start to look at salt and its ability to add to food flavor, and of course in the international markets, you see much more interesting stuff like garlic salt, etc., etc. So I think flavor is another continuum that we will play with. So, you know, you premiumize really by ensuring that we can create a greater amount of needs, right, or demand spaces that we can play with.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure. Thank you.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, X and YouTube. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time next week. See you soon, and here is wishing you all a happy Easter.